category, and this is really a theme for this side of the bracket, Harry. If you look at who's on this side, HSL Esports, Morning Stars, and Clockwork Vendetta, this is like the new blood of contenders on one half of the bracket. And when you look at the other side, you look into those three names, Giganti, AT, British Hurricane. That's the old guard. They've been here since we've been in contenders.
Yeah, they came in with us. Angry Titans going through open division for the first time. That was one of the most stacked open divisions we've ever seen. We are going to be rolling out straight away on Downtown. This is what we said. We remembered Zapray's performance. He's going to be going head-to-head with Arsene like we predicted. Widowmaker versus Widowmaker. But Kagasi on Farah versus Fisher on the handle will be a main difference.
That shield getting absolutely deleted. Henningsen got nowhere to hide behind. There's that challenge with the Zapray. Misses the first shot. Will go off to the side, but he's hooked in. And that's what you expect off the back end of that. Tech 3-6 picking up that first kill. Fisher will answer onto Kagasi and take him out of the skies. And now they're going to move closer and closer to the point as it begins to unlock.
Henningsen's put down his shield there. That means he won't be able to place it down on the point if they are challenged out there. They are going to get the cap, but oh, what a great defense play to save Tridd.
Also a fantastic anti-nade onto Tech. Really relieves the pressure. Now Kagasi has to challenge Fisher, but he can't win out against the Storm Arrow. Did take Henningsen with them, so now the opportunity to have that main tank and that point presence advantage is in favor of Morning Stars. I'm expecting them to get the flip unless anything nutty happens.
Good job by Chow to face the other, making sure he cannot get headshot damage, but here is Banana onto the Diva.
He just goes straight for the backline. Now Tech 3-6 demands his attention with the hook. There's that Bionade going to boost up the heal, and they can't shred through him. They even commit the nano boost over to Tech, and he's still unable to burn through that pocket. Now he's going to pull him in behind that shield, deny the Ana healing, and picks up the D-Mech. Kagasi then finds Ascot. Huge anti onto 4. Will force them back even further. And this whole time, Harry, HSL have got the point, and they're finally going to give it up.
Kagasi returned on the hands after losing out the duel twice to his counterpart projectile DPS, got himself 4 kills and an instant Dragon Strike. The man's like, okay, Fisher, you want to play on the Shamadas, you want to Legolas up to me, I'll Legolas up to you.
You want to rumble? I'll put the feather in my cap. I'll be the Robin Hood here. I'll steal that ult charge from the rich. I'll distribute it to the poor, which in this instance was Morning Stars. Now look at them. They've opened up shop. They've got all those ults on the board. Only thing they're missing is the nano boost, but there's still plenty to play with and fight against HSL as they move in on the assault.
Trickle down economy working for them. Chubb's ready to trickle in some extra damage with the supercharger. He replaced his shield, but HSL know at this point they can just take another direction. They can take another rotation. They don't need to engage this because it would be foolhardy to allow Morning Stars to get all that extra damage for free when they have the advantage of Henningsen being able to use his in the coming engagement.
Well, that's one ult down already, just thrown straight into Chow's defense matrix. Knows Dragon's joining us, and then Zapray rubs salt in the wounds by taking out Kagasi. Dragon's going to cut through the rest of Morning Stars. Now they put a supercharger of their own down, but I feel like there's a little bit of overkill, Harry. They've already got the advantage in the fight. They forced Morning Stars back to the point, and now they're going on the offensive.
Right there, Morning Stars, they just popped so many ults preemptively. They combined the supercharger with Infrasight, which meant they had 2 ultimates active, while HSL were just like, cool, I guess we'll just wait here.
I guess.
Nice ult economy, bro. Would be a shame if something happened to it.
Yeah, but Morning Stars aren't looking much better, Harry. They've only got themselves a whole hog remaining for Tech 3-6, so they're pretty even right now. You got that Valkyrie online for Askov. They're probably going to be moving in with that one to reinforce the fight on the next phase. And they've changed it up a little bit more. They're coming in here. Morning Stars keeping on Kagasi. That nano boost is going to be going over to someone shortly.
Yeah, whole hog will be very good for shield break. Going for the hook, but great block there from Henningsen. There's the whole hog. Are they going to use the nano? They are.
They're committing the nano at the end of the duration of the whole hog. He's going to be able to make use of this afterwards, and they're going to get that res afterwards. Kagasi finds 2, brings Henningsen back after he got absolutely pounded by Kagasi. And HSL, last time they were in this spot, they milked out so much more charge on the point. They might be able to get it into the high 80s if they play this correctly, but they will lose the point.
Big boy flank there from Kagasi as well, getting behind the shield. One of the main weaknesses of Orisa as a tank is that her shield is both static and mono-directional, which means if you can get behind her, she has to try and shield dance around that. But if she's dancing out the front of a shield, you've still got 5 members behind her who can shoot her. Morning Stars get the flip here, but HSL are in a commanding position with their percentage. 88%, 1 win may be able to do it. As Asking gets himself up for Infrasight. No surprises from HSL can come through now as Morning Stars get ready for what could be the final fight.
And that Dragon Strike just cuts through HSL. Kagasi played that magnificently. And yeah, they will get 2 kills in return, but the res will rectify one of them. They're playing at such a disadvantage. Kagasi gets punished beautifully by Chow, and Henningsen will come back. There is room to contest here for HSL.
It's good news for HSL. That was such a quick fight. They are going to get a second chance. Henningsen avoids the incoming hook. They got to move on to a point. 5% of it don't have anyone fast.
Who's getting there? Who is sprinting to that point right now? They got Chow. The boost is there pretty quick. Gets them onto the point. Pulled in. Supercharges down. Should help Morning Stars win his next fight. But there's that Dragon Strike. Forcing away. Chubbs is isolated, but they won't get the kill because the Valkyrie is online for Tridd, as he will top them all up. But point presence going over to HSL as Tech finds Ding on the back line, and he doesn't die! How is he still alive? He's able to keep this one going, and now we'll come back with the whole hog. This is disastrous for HSL Esports. Morningstars will get them off the point, flip back at 99%, and now they're going to need one hell of a push from HSL to have any chance of taking it. And I don't think they're going to have it today, Harry. Morningstars should be walking away with downtown.
They are. Tridd just going to be the last person trying to contest here along with the other fast heroes, but it will not work out unless a miracle happens.
Well, Padwick's going to come in. Chow easily dies, and of course you're going to keep throwing everything you can. Henningsen even going over to the Diva to try and get some semblance of a stall out here, but over time it speeds up. You don't have as much time the longer it goes on. And Morningstars, they seal the deal, but there was a valiant hold there from HSL. They weren't ready to give up just yet.
A really cool wave that Morningstars devoted their resources to make sure they could win that last fight was that they used both the damage boost from Tridd and the supercharger simultaneously after we saw Tech 36 get a hook onto Chow, because we do have a DC, so we'll probably be seeing a pause, but after we got the hook onto Chow, you know that Diva head hitbox is so big, especially when you're being pulled in with the hook, you can guarantee the headshot. Give it 50% more damage, give it 30% more damage, get yourself that instant D-mech, and Chow's not going to be a factor in this fight.
Yeah, just give it a Chow, give it his mech. He's not really going to do much in that mini Diva form. Very exposed in that line. Will be taken out quite quickly. So yeah, we did have a disconnect. My co-caster here spotted that nice and early. We're going to go to, we're going to have a pause right now. We don't know if we're going to go to
just
a break.
Just a powwow between you and I.
You know, just to spice it up a little bit. Good first round. Very close. That's what I like to see. Hopefully, sets the good pace for the rest of the series, and we might see this go the distance rather than end in 3 games, because we can do that this time around, right?
Yeah, certainly the news when we looked at that last round, though, was the difference in off-tank choice. We had Chow go over to the Diva, but we've seen him play over the course of about 5 contender seasons now. Yeah. And he's gotten very good at it over that time, but does it really fit into this composition well enough when you need the extra pick potential, the extra damage, the extra shield break from the Orisa and the Holt hook combination? Like, that's such an integral part of his pick composition, and you lack that. When you have the Diva, you can try and mitigate the Holt hook by being able to defense matrix over Rotok when he pulls someone in, but that isn't always there. We do have asking. Moving over on to what you and I were excited about. Going to don our cowboy hats, and McCree is ready to lay down some justice.
And what I like to see as well, May's being kept in this one as well. They're going to use that damage slot for the May. The difference being Zapre's going over to the Widowmaker instead this time. Asking, going to be coming in with the flashbang. Harry, what's the difference between the Widowmaker and the Asking? What's Asking going to bring that a Widowmaker can't to this fight?
Well, as you can see, Zapre's got a long sight line here, and he's used to take out slow. It's going to be very difficult to try and pressure him. It's down to Kagasi, who does not have damage fall off, and McCree does.
Point presence being given over by HSL Esports. They're there first. Henningsen pulled off the point, but the wall so good from Fisher to stop him being taken up to the high ground and demolished by Morningstars.
Well, for now, Morningstars will just wait for Slur to rejoin them, look for some early Holt hooks, get some picks going on. The double headshot. Who's sniping now?
The double tap, really putting to use that McCree buff on this patch, able to get that fire rate increased. He's going to be just absolutely dismantling HSL from such safety. Look at the gall of this lad! Asking! What an animal! And HSL Esports will lose the point at 23%.
It's the highest of noons, Tridd. No one checked their watch. I didn't know that it was asking time. And now Morningstars, they're in a great defensive position. They're running a super high healing composition. They've got the Anna and they've got the Moira. That means that Chubbs and Tech 36, they're so hard to dislodge. How are you going to get past them in a May when they're getting that much healing? Yeah, you've got to use an offensive ultimate, but still Fisher doesn't have the Blizzard.
What makes this even easier for Asking is that if Henningsen and Fisher don't have their cooldowns online, there's no shield. You're going to be able to absolutely dismantle them. And Kagasi, yet again, looking to divide and conquer, so close to that Blizzard, and might have to commit this one to the next point. He's hooked in, didn't get the ice block off in time, and the out matrix is dropped by Askov, who will now pull Chubbs out with the Holt and let him get dismantled by that damage. They're going to play around this high ground a little bit more, and then move to take away control from Morningstars.
That is a good counter hook right there, making sure Tech 36 could not deliver the payload of damage, but Asking, he got Zapre again.
He's just out-dueling a sniper right now because he's got that extra mobility. Drijo will be hooked up, pulled away. They won't kill Asking, but he's smart enough to back off when he knows his team isn't there to support him.
Asting's got another dead eye. Zapre's going to move over to McCree to try and counter it. 2 Cowboys going to be dueling away at noon right here, but HSL, they very much punished it. Morningstar said they weren't ready for the aggression that Kagasi was giving them. Where was the Orisa shield? Where was the attempt of a Holt hook to try and lock down these chokes? You've got such an advantage when it comes to that positioning, but you're not using it.
Fisher got tagged by the sleep there. The wall came up in time. Here's the high noon Asking under too much pressure. That immortality field just coming out a little bit too late to keep him up in the fight and keep that high noon going. There's the hook, brings Chow in. He's going to be dismantled as Chubbs will be the one to pick up that kill. Blizzard sitting on top of the rest of HSL, or rest of Morningstars. But they're going to return with a counter Blizzard over their own. Asking's there with damage on the Zapre. Should be Morningstars getting the flip here. They've done enough to deal a dent into HSL Esports.
Big flank there from Asking. Made sure he was not caught in the blizzard where the rest of his team were halted in. I'm surprised that Asking actually gave up his High Noon or his Deadeye so soon. In fact, given that he did have the Supercharger and the Immortality field around him, he must have been very cautious about what HSL could have done to try and mitigate that.
It was quite late, though. We noticed that the Immortality field came out after he cancelled his ultimate, so he didn't have that in time. I think if that came out a little bit earlier, he would have stuck with it.
Asking now going to be trying to build up towards that next ultimate. The same can be said of Zapper, and we're going to have a amplification matrix ready to go. Even trades.
Yep, trading. You're losing the McCree for the May. Amp Matrix coming in there. Chubb's sitting on top of that Amp Matrix, or the Immortality field. Should be fine here. The wall coming up, but as Ascot's been found out. And they're going to give him the nano boost over to Tech 36, who's still keeping on his high ground. We're at final fight territory now for Morningstars, and HSL really need to get themselves together for this final push.
Not only do they need to get themselves together, they need to get themselves on the point. But Chow being dragged far away from it, sent all the way back to spawn. The pressure just keeps on coming, Tridd.
And then as soon as that wall drops down, because they will catch it on the cooldown, you need a shield to block it out. They've tried to go for the whole combination, pull him into the sightlines of Asking, not there, and now need to take cover from the other Cowboy. Off to the side, still finds no one. Chubb will deal with Fisher, it's 99%, and the HSL are hemorrhaging players. They will get on the point to try and contest this one, and get the flip as well, because Morningstar's a little bit late to the party, but they're only buying time right now. The kills aren't coming in their favor. They're clearing off the point, but HSL are throwing everything to keep it going.
They interrupted Henningsen as he used his Supercharger, and now HSL, they're still in control, but not for long. Morningstar's hunting them on down.
Overtime's in effect. Who can touch right now? They're trying to let Fisher come in on the Doomfist, but they're camping that door. Ascot comes in to try and touch to trigger the overtime. It's going to tick down further, but these bodies are dying before they can get any impact done. Even Fisher won't find a kill on there. You know, he's right on top of Asking. 99% ticks down. Morningstars take Busan 2-0.
And the story here for Morningstars being able to win that out consistently definitely appears to be how they're a lot cleaner on these Hulk combinations. We've seen a couple of Hulks coming through from the side of HSL where the Hulk comes out, Henningsen drags people in, and I look over at Chow and he's using his Take a Breather, and obviously Take a Breather in some ways is sort of like a self-CC or a crowd control, and you can't use your other abilities until the cast time of that has elapsed, which meant that he was staring at everyone who was up, was like, I'll be with you in a moment, just stay right there.
He was just being express hooked into there, and he didn't even put up a fight. It's basically asking for it at that point. We're going to go to a quick break and come back. Going to bring you map number 2. Don't go anywhere. Morning Stars draw first blood in their quarterfinal matchup against HSL Esports. Busan going their way. We're going to move on to map number 2. Some gentleman I called out at the beginning of the series, though, Kagasi, not someone we really touted as being up there onto the same par as the other 3 damage players in this matchup. But he actually had some of the highest impact on that first map, Harry.
Yeah, Kagasi's definitely been hard grinding on that Hanzo over the course of the break. He's been able to hit so many headshots, and also his positioning. It's just the right amount of aggressive and brave compared to just being able to be in the line of sight of your healer, so that you do have the sustainability to try and be able to brawl out with the more squishy heroes like Hanzo, who only have that smaller health pool.
Temple of Anubis is our second map. That's HSL's choice because obviously lose picks. You go ahead, okay, we want this map instead from our pool that we've had all season. They can't pick any map they want. We're not that nice. We're not that kind. You have to play within the confines of our map pool. So Temple of Anubis going first. Who goes first? Who attacks and defends first? I believe is the choice of the person who didn't pick the map.
Yeah, you only get one of the choices, I'm afraid. You don't get the double choice.
It's like football. You can choose who kicks off, but you can't pick the side. Give and take. It's all about partnership in this tournament. Morning Stars. Leading the series, as we've already mentioned. I'm trying to spot the silhouettes through the color, but no one spawned yet. I imagine, though, Harry, take a guess who's going to be. You might even know. You might be able to work it out.
Oh, we're likely going to be seeing an Orisa. Of course, that was the Scarab craft shop right there, and Scarabs have some very hard carapaces, and I imagine we're going to be seeing the same thing on the defense. Something kind of bunker-centric, maybe, and, well, there it is. We've got Chubbs on the Orisa, of course, going to be backed up by Tech36, who right now, he's looking like the bigger pig in this particular relationship. Chow's Roadhog, maybe slightly questionable at the moment.
Yeah, we called out a couple of very weird champ usages of that Take a Breather, just being caught out and basically allowing himself to die at certain times. But of course, you can be caught off guard by the Hulk Hook combo. It's one of the things that makes it
if only Orisas would call those out when they were going to happen.
Yeah, if only they did. But like, if only the opposing Orisa could spot when a Hulk comes out of nowhere from the other team. So I think that's what Chow's actually missing out on, right? He's just being caught off guard, it appears. But eyeing up something different while he's in the spawn room. Roadhog, to be honest, isn't really a hero we associate Chow with. He's more known as a diva player. Not to say that's the only hero he can play, has a wide hero pool, but maybe not Roadhog. Roadhog maybe isn't a hero there.
Well, you've got to keep eyes on Kagasi as well. He's going to be here on the May, and his wall usage so far has been pretty sublime. He's been able to very much control both information and positioning from the enemy team, as well as try and get some isolations here and there, being able to put people in very bad positions for asking you to try and pick them off. He's going to be back on the Widowmaker, one of the signature heroes, one of our premier hit scan talents in all of Europe. HSL, right now, they're having a look at what they're up against. They can now press tab and see all the heroes on the enemy team, so they may decide to come here with a little bit of a different approach.
Yeah, they're going to slow this one down. They're buying time for Ding to go and change. He went very low and forced out the Immortality field nice and early there.
That was a great Immortality field there from Askoff, knowing that it was a very dangerous angle, managed to save Ding's life despite the headshot coming into the Zenyatta. That would otherwise have been certain doom. And here we can see Henningsen. They're looking for a different kind of combination with this Holt. They're looking for that exact combination. They're looking for Holt into Snipe, but that's what HSL wanted, but Morning Stars are going to do it first.
They wanted Zapray to watch the rear. Little did he know that was already belonged to Asking. He's not able to keep up in this one. They will go head-to-head, try and take this plateau away from Morning Stars. Nice Holt Hook combo. He's been so clean for Morning Stars. Definitely you can see the effort being put into it. And notice Amp Matrix creates a shooting gallery for Morning Stars to decimate HSL Esports. That offensive shut down entirely.
So much value there as well from the Immortality field, making sure Tech did not have to invest so much time in trying to keep himself safe and instead could just continue to blast out that damage because he needs to be able to get that whole hog rather quickly. It's such an important tool when you've got a May and a Widowmaker and very little shield pressure. Speaking of pressure, Asking, feeling a little bit of heat, but it is going to be slow going in with a quick resurrection.
But now the Amp Matrix is online for HSL Esports. There's no damage matching for Morning Stars. They're going to have to fall back here because their shield is just going to get decimated if they stay exposed. And they have to give up that territory to play around passive cover.
And now they can try to go for Holt into Snipe, maybe with a hook again. There it is. Chow's in.
Counter Holt came out, but Fish is going to cut through the cheese with that Dragon Strike. Dredro being the victim of that one. Don't know if the res can come online, and Zapray finds Asking. Valkyrie is in effect. Mobility is there for Morning Stars, but they're not able to get into a safe position to res anyone, and HSL Esports will continue to walk forward. Kagasi trying to stem the bleeding right now by finding a couple of kills, but it comes back. Chow and Zapray, they're able to do the work as well. Guarantee that they will find point A and move on to the second section of the
Zapray getting a lot of value there. We know that Asking is very much touted for his Widowmaker, but the same thing can be said of Zapray, who despite being a young player, is a veteran all the way back in 2016, 2017. He was playing with Misfits at the time, the best team in the world. They won the Overwatch Open at Turner Broadcast Studios back when that was the premier tournament that Overwatch had ever seen. HSL now going to be moving on to second. They've got 4 minutes and 16 in their time bank. Remember, on this patch, you only get 3 minutes added to your time bank for the second point rather than the 4 that it was previously. So the clock is ticking for HSL as Morningstar set up their defense with Supercharger and the Amplification field.
They're going to use that Supercharger already for Morningstars to amplify that damage. Tridd is still sitting on the Amp Matrix now. He's waiting for an opportunity where HSL truly expose themselves. Playing quite far back with the relative safety. Holt will pull a bunch of players over the top of the shield, but won't find the kill. You can see they retreat back to Tridd, knowing that he has that shift available should he need to amp up that heal.
Chubb's using this fortify as well. He's going to be very vulnerable to the Holt hook because he's got a shorter cooldown.
There we go, trying to match it. The wall will block off that Amp Matrix and stop some of the damage coming out, but they're trading through identical, so they cancel each other out. The Immortality field is bolstering HSL's resolve. They even send that self-destruct into the back line. They're able to block this one out, but they've got control of the point now.
And now Kagasi trying to bisect once again with the wall, but Fisher's so close to this Dragon Strike, he's going to let it loose fast.
It's just going through blind, force them out. The Hulk pulls them back in for Zapray to finish off Tridd. Didn't even need the headshot to make that one work. The Immortality field again for HSL, who perpetually have control of the point. You're going to throw that Blizzard down, find the kills, but it's Slur asking, coming in with the cleanup, even with the D-Mech as well. For Harry, they gave away that second percentile, and they're forcing it to the final section of this
Why are they using their Transcendence here, though, Tridd? They've only got 2 people. What's going to happen? You've got to just reset, my dudes. If you use the Supercharger, I'm going to be mad.
Nah, they weren't. They're smart enough to use that. Henningsen also died, so he had that choice removed away from him, thankfully enough. We don't know what they're doing. They were having a fever dream there, Harry. They were just blowing ults left, right, and center.
I hate to harp on it, but Chow there, he needs to eat that Blizzard, right? There are so few threats you've got to deal with. There are 3 people in the back. We've only got 2 places they can come out. If you're ult tracking, you know that Blizzard's available. And that's the advantage of the Diva. You want to be able to eat up these ultimates to mitigate those win conditions. And Blizzard is one of the easiest ultimates in the game to try and eat. So Chow, you've got to be more on point with these eats, my buddy. I'm sorry to lay on you, but it's got to be done.
Bear in mind that the defense matrix has changed between the previous week. That patch also made the changes to DM, so maybe that might be to do with that. He's not used to it. Tries to go through a consumption there, eats up the Holt, but the Dragon Strike will still come through and force them into this corner. Morningstars may have HSL exactly where they want them.
Well, they're in front of the Amplification Matrix, which is always going to be doing a lot more damage, and of course means you're going to be building up ultimates faster as well for that double damage. Trying to get the flank onto Fisher, will get the body shot, but no confirm.
Tags him, can't get the headshot, he knows where it is, and you can say that they're sending Tech 36 to go and chase him off. That hook gonna bring him in and guarantee his death. Zapray finds Slur, and there's that Amp Matrix to shoot through Morningstars, who don't have any answer of their own. They've only got the Nano Boost online, but Slur's coming back from the spawn room to try and use that one. Here's Tech, he's on the flank, coming up behind him, wants to find Big Boy Hook, but pulls him into the Immortality field and loses his own life in the process. HSL Esports have control of this point, and they just have to finish off Slur, who went for the stall. They will complete Anubis with time to spare.
Great plays there from Ding, from Fisher, and Ascoft. Great placement of the Immortality field, and I feel like Tech Fair may have decided, I'm going to go for a hook here. I'm going to try and get that damage onto Henningsen, get him to low health, so that there is the opportunity for the rest of my team to try and pick that up. But
his team was already dead.
Everyone else on his team, they were either dead or they were on the other side of the Arista shield, so none of them could shoot the Immortality field. He was the only one who had an angle onto that particular ancillary skill, so he needed to be the one who goes for that field. You've got to be able to get the proper 10-meter range, get the burst on the scrap gun right-click to try and take it down.
He needed some distance on that one, right? He played to play it safe. He went for the puck when he should have brought out the iron.
Yeah, should have tried to follow all the way through on that one.
Morningstars now going to go on to the offense. We see HSL Esports, they have 1 minute 30 in the time back still. Pretty good time. Also creates the opportunity for Morningstars to be forced into a draw situation.
I feel like if HSL were playing the Roadhog here, there would be a lot less value to be gained out of the Baptiste. Because Baptiste, of course, when you're looking at going for Holt snipe combinations, an Immortality field deals with that rather easily. When you're looking at Holt hook, the Immortality field is less useful because you've either got to throw it into the enemy team, or it's then going to have usage for the teammate who's been thrown in, even if you do get it there in time. But if you're just being lifted up into the air and you're stationary, just put the thing at your feet and everyone survives regardless of the headshots coming through.
Chow, I think, has conceded that he won't win the Roadhog battle, so he's going over to the Diva because it's not the most optimal usually to see this particular combo. There's still usage there. You can obviously DM the Holt as it comes in and stop that crucial ultimate from setting up, or not ultimate, crucial ability from setting up a Holt hook combo on the side of Morningstars. Zapray will be cheeky, going for that occasional shot out of spawn, won't find anything, and will retreat.
Yeah, we've got to give credit to Chubbs as well for being able to weave so many Holts through a defense matrix of Chow when it is a very easily tracked ability to try and get rid of, and he's weaving so many through. Chow either needs to be more on point with spotting these out, or something else needs to happen for HSL.
Can't find the shots there. Zapray will fall back, try and find a different angle, trying to contest against Arsky again. He keeps changing it up. He takes a shot and typically moves to somewhere else, keeps him on the toes, keeps him guessing and asking, just going down main right now, using those grapple hooks when he can, tanking and body shots while the rest of these tanks are trying to cower behind the pillars. And they're desperate right now. They have to put that shield down and start playing around that instead.
Well, speaking of shield down, right now, Fisher on that Junkrat is putting in so much shield pressure compared to Kagasi, who's going to be able to do 75 damage at a time with those icicles, going for an engage as they move through this bridge.
They're playing underneath the bridge. Zapray's at the back. He needs some healing desperately, but Askov has to stay with his tank to keep them topped up. He's now going in there for the top up. Nice hook in there. Chow has no answer to it. He's just pulled in and walled off as well. There was no retreat for him. Huge advantage for Morningstars moving into this assault.
Asking gets rid of Zapray as well. He's got an uncontested position. He's going to be looking for that tire.
Askov being so greedy there, going in for that to try and get that healing done. Asking will finish him off with a nice headshot from afar, and point control is over to HSL. They're committing the Transcendence to this one. HSL really do not want to give up the point this early. They think they can do it, and they're in a position where they can do so. They're now layering on the damage and able to contest Morningstars away.
But Morningstars is coming in from so many different angles. Fisher's got himself in a corner here with this Orisa shield. Maybe he's trying to just help out the brawl. He's got to get rid of that so that he can have the free sightlines that he wants. They managed to find Slow, which is a good pick off to drain the time bank.
He also wants to make it easier for Zapray. You don't want to impede his sightlines. So if you can break through that faster, it makes it a lot easier for him. Because now if you look at the position he's taking, he's always been playing around the staircase and playing around the L on the bridge to make sure he's got good sightlines on this first choke.
He's going for a safer shot right now, playing behind the shield so that his decision to move afterwards will be a little bit less telegraphed. They're going for the hole and the shot, but unfortunately not the right angle to be able to hit the head. Morningstars have a lot of siege power in the next. They do have that whole hog, which can so easily break down the shield of an Orisa. They're going to need to wait for their own main tank, though, otherwise it's going to be a pointless push.
That hole, it didn't get the kill, but it set up the chunk damage for him to get that guaranteed headshot kill and just, like I said, remove Chubbs from the fight and delay Morningstars even longer. They're now moving into sub 1 minute 30.
Henningsen is going to have to be very judicious with the use of the supercharger. Needs a lot of cover for it because it can easily be taken out by a flank from Asking, but it's going to be so valuable for Fisher. If he can start getting more damage on these grenades, he's going to be destroying the enemy shield and allowing for Zapray to have that space to operate. He can get exactly the angles he wants. Morningstars are running low on time as well. There's the whole... I'm not sure if it forced out the fortify.
I don't know if they did. It's so dangerous to try this, though. You're moving into a kill box, and now the Riptide can go over the window. You have to be keeping heads on the swivel for this one. Going in from behind. Immortality field placement is great, though. Will scare off that tire, and Tech even find the kill with the whole hog. It sets Morningstars up nicely. They just need to seal the deal.
They put down the supercharger, but it's been blocked off by the wall. Great placement from Kagasi. He's been shining on this May as they move on to the point.
They have to move in now. They've exposed the supercharger, but they're not interested. Beautiful hook on the Zapray. Takes them off the high ground. Guarantees the kill will come in. Blizzard for Kagasi, but they don't want to save that to go for the momentum push, and they're going to get this point capture without it. The ult in their pocket, as well as the supercharger. They'll even have the infrasights to boot when they move on to point B.
And it's such a great play. It all goes back to Tridro's use of the immortality field. Everyone's inside there. He's like, okay, you're going to bring in this Riptide? Cool, we're all just sitting here. You're going to bring that? He's like, okay, team, kill the immortality field. I'm just going to drive my tire over here, but that's not enough time versus that much damage. It's going to be taken out. Speaking of taken out, Asking, it's going to be sent just a couple of feet back to spawn, because it does have a closer one now.
We were kind of hoping there for the potential momentum play, but losing your Widowmaker nice and early, it's not going to work out for you. Kagasi still has the Blizzard, infrasights are online, supercharged dead. They even have Outmatrix moving into this one.
Speaking of a Blizzard, it's got to be the same thing again. Chow, you're on Diva. This is a very easily telegraphed ultimate. I need you to eat the Blizzard if HSL are going to have a chance of defending this, because otherwise it's not going to be looking great for your own setup.
There you go, Outmatrix forces them around the corner. Holt's going to pull them into an exposed territory. Immortality field already used early. This is big because they can just throw this down after it expires. Going to dodge it out. Tanks a shot, won't find it. The DM already used, he knows it. 18 HP, he'll still get it out. Transcendence has to come out here from Ding. And they're not getting enough kills on the side of Morningstars. They're playing this one too slow, and HSL can recover with the spawn advantage.
Didn't manage to eat the Blizzard, but luckily the angle was very good for HSL. They can use this potential amplification matrix on their re-entry. He's Asking, trying to clutch this out, but Ding's going to be even clutcher.
Ding, ding, ding. Finds the headshots onto Asking. They're still committing ultimates to this one. Whole hog being used right at the end there. Point placement is in favor of Morningstars. They're going to pull Chow on the other side of the amp matrix, but they have to take cover. Transcendence being committed while they're in retreat as well. This is an efficient usage of your ultimates. Now the Blizzard's coming in from Fisher to rack up the kills for HSL and burn more of the time back from Morningstars.
And not even a tick gain there. Tridd, so much was invested by HSL and they've got nothing to show for it. Fisher, of course, on the May. Kagasi the same. They're both so far away from these Blizzards now. Question is Chow going to be able to get value from this defense bridge because of the forthcoming fights? He wants to be able to also potentially pressure out Asking, but leave him in a very dangerous position. He may have to stay back behind this shield and instead help the duel out against Chubbs. We'll have to see if there are any swap arounds it will be asking. Moving from a Widowmaker onto a Hands Over. This allows him to have that same sort of sniper pressure, but have a lot more shield pressure as well, using the Storm Arrows, and Zapre wants to try and brawl out as well on from McCree. That's going to give him the stun, potentially. He can cancel Tech 36's Take a Breather to make him a lot more vulnerable as a tank.
Should easily to pick it off. They don't have an Arnold to shut down the healing, so they have to have something to do it. Hook of Chow, he's gone over to that Roadhog. Not the most favorable pick for him, but he's going to try and make it work regardless. As they're playing it around. 1 minute remaining, so they're going to finish with a lesser of time back than HSL. Remember, they can't do it in overtime, otherwise they're going to go to a draw.
That's exactly that. They would have to hope for a draw in that particular scenario, and for now, HSL look like they're holding strong. Why did you go forward, Chow? Not like this!
Oh, he's pulled onto the other side of the wall. Kagasi capitalizing on the unforced error from Chow, and Morning Stars will use this to their advantage as they press forward, find Fisher in the corner, finish him off. Zapre returns with 2, but he's hiding with no HP and no healers in sight to help him out, and now they just have to kill the spawners from HSL as they run out of their room, but they're killing them fast. Here comes the ball with the pile driver, looking to stall it out even further. Henningsen gets deleted, the CC is there. Zapre will move in, but it's Ding with the Transcendence who will make the dent.
15 seconds is all that HSL needs right here. If they can get that 10-second stall, that will be amazing for them.
They're going to use that Animatrix to try and deal with the damage. They're still contesting it. There's one they can't deal with Ascot. Harry, I think they've done enough here to force out the draw.
5 seconds.
This is going to be beautiful for them. There's the Blizzard as well. Morning Stars, they need to capture, and draw secured for HSL. We know Morning Stars will not win this map. They need to try and force it out, because if they don't get for the full hold, hang on a minute.
Winnable.
Zapre, Fisher, they're coming in on the damage. They're using that 2-2-2 lock to the fullest, and they will force away Morning Stars. The draw doesn't matter. They don't want to draw. They're going for the victory. They don't get their second chance. HSL Esports tying up the series.
Perfect swaps there as well. You saw Dingle over onto Moira, taking advantage of the fact there is no Diva. So guess what? That healing orb is going to be bouncing around the point forever, baby. And that means your DPS can brawl out as they like. Zapre. I talked about Turner Broadcast Studios. I talked about the Overwatch Open back in the day with Misfits when he was playing for one of the best teams in the world of Overwatch. He was known for his Tracer. That was back when Tracer was the must pick. Mwah! And it's back, baby.
I expect to see more of that one as the playoffs continue, because, heck, it's 2-2-2 lock, right? You're not going to run into these beefy 4-tank compositions where you're kind of relegated to, I'm just going to tickle you a little bit with this damage. Give Tracer enough time, she'll do the damage to get a kill, but obviously you want to try and go for the assassination, right?
Yeah, you want to be getting the maximum value, and you also get a lot of value at that Doomfist, because Doomfist has a lot of one-shot potential, and it means you have to divert your attention to so many different sort of avenues. And of course, while you're doing that, you're not taking account of Velucio, who's up on the statue contesting, because we know that they love to ride around that sarcophagus and basically stall forever.
Well, what I love is they looked up, they spotted him, he went onto the other side of the pillar. He's like, well, I can't kill him now, and there's a Doomfist running at me. I have to change attention. They look away, and he suddenly changed position, still keeping that contest going. Really well played by HSL to turn a losing situation. Well, not losing, they would have drawn minimum, but turning that around to be able to just win out the map there and then.
Yeah, it feels like HSL definitely have a lot of clutch power with him, and we also saw Ding, of course, get that shard shot onto Asking when he was trying to make the momentum of one of those fights turn around, and that was so important, being able to have the idea of where that Widow was going to peak. You can really get a sense for a Widow after a while, and you know that Zapre and Asking are starting to get attuned to each other at this point, but Ding's also in on that fight.
Yeah, he wants to tip the scales in favor of his team a little bit further. He doesn't want to be putting it all on one player, because ideally, you don't want to do that. If they can, great, but you'd rather make it a team effort, right? Looking at a couple of highlights from the first 2 maps. I was going to say first half, but there's no guarantees that was the halfway point, Harry, because at minimum, we'll have 2 more maps, because it's first of 3 maps in this playoff format in the quarterfinals. But we could see a bit of a long haul depending on if there's a draw potentially on our next map, because we are moving over to hybrid quite quickly. And
it will be the choice of Morning Stars, so they're going to be able to decide where we're going to go. Maybe we'll go over to Hollywood, see a little bit more Widowmaker play. It seems like Asking for now, it's like, okay, it needs to be 2 DPS. I guess I'll just stick to McCree Widowmaker, because he's forcing Zapre to come over to his sort of area, and it's Kagasi who's doing most of the flexing, and thus far, he's been much more impressive than I anticipated.
To be fair, though, Zapre's the kind of player you can just kind of go, okay, your one job, just match Asking or shut him down. I don't care which.
Just take his attention. We'll deal with the rest.
Draw his attention or take him out. We don't care which, just deal with him. And Zapre is doing that to a degree as well. It's helping him tie out the series. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, going to bring you map number 3.